our last performer for tonight is going to be Dakshata, who's going to announce her piece as well as, I'm pulling up the music right now, announce her piece as well as her name and all that stuff. Go ahead.
Hello, my name is Dakshata, and today I'll be performing Sonatina in G by
All right. That was Dakshata performing Beethoven's Sonatina in G. The first, I guess, movement of that sonatina. But yeah, all right. So I'm going to start the poll, and then if you have any verbal feedback, you can go ahead and raise your hands. Elena, if you want to go ahead.
Yeah. So, is she using drafts or memorization?
This was a actual performance. It was memorized.
Is that true? Oh, well, if it was memorized, I'm not sure. If it was memorized well. It's memorized very securely. Solidly, I shall say. Well, I saw like the character was I felt like a dancing kind, and I really like that felt, and I think it's supposed to be felt like. Sorry. I think its character is supposed to be like that, and I sort of didn't see if he moved because I was focusing on the screen. He was sharing. So overall, I think it was pretty well. Like the memorization, yeah, it was pretty solid.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that character point. I think he definitely expressed the character very well, and the tempo is moderato, so that where you were is probably about fine. Let's get one more person, just to get any verbal feedback. How about Tanya? You want to say something? You're there.
I don't really have anything to say.
Okay. Anything like dynamics? You thought it was good? Thought there was things to improve on?
It was good. I mean, I could see movement compared to what I was doing. So yeah, it was really good. I liked it. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, so all right, so most of you guys have filled out the poll. If you haven't yet, I'll give you another 10 seconds, and I'll wrap it up. Okay, so let me show the results. So looking at the poll, dynamics was all over the board. We had 1 vote for 2, 1 vote for 3, 1 vote for 4, and yeah, I think that's kind of about accurate. There were some points where the dynamics were pretty good, and you seemed to express it. And I know that you had some struggle with like expressing dynamics since you're on an electric piano, but definitely it was on the heavier end in terms of dynamics. So it was kind of like more on the loud side than on the soft side, especially since there's a few sections where it's supposed to be piano. So kind of maybe just thinking through that, all the crescendos, decrescendos, and that kind of goes into the phrasing as well for that. Yeah. Articulation was all over the board as well. We got 1 vote for 2, 1 vote for 3, 1 vote for 4. Overall, I thought the articulation was pretty good. I think there was a few connection issues, so it was a little bit hard to hear, but there's not a ton of like specific articulations that are in here, like staccato or legato, but I think you kind of phrased everything or put through everything for the most part pretty nicely. There's always those grace notes. I know we decided not to play with grace notes, but that also, I guess, kind of plays into articulation a little bit as well. Balance. Yeah, we got 2 votes for 3, 1 vote for 2. There are a few parts, like especially when it got to like really very forte, the left hand started to feel a little bit loud, so that might be something to look out for. But the right hand, I think was pretty okay, and for the most part, I think it was pretty balanced overall. Phrasing, we don't really work in phrasing so every single time, but because we're in stage 2, and then but overall the phrasing, I think it was like some of the lines were phrased pretty nicely for the most part, but there's always some stuff that we could always work on, especially like overarching phrasing and all that stuff, but we don't really focus on that too much. Movement was again all over the place. Definitely we can always work, that's something to always work on, I think of. Definitely when we're playing through any piece. Movement goes into how we express it, especially when we're going forte, to dive into the piano a little bit more, to pull back when we're going piano, and kind of, this is a faster piece, so it's a little bit harder to kind of express like very large movement, but definitely having like small movement to kind of help with the phrasing, articulation, all that stuff, I think can be a really, really powerful tool, especially going through it. Yeah. All right, so I have all those saved. And